Hello and welcome back. Well, in today's video, which is going to be quite a bit different, I haven't done one of these, and I told myself I was going to make this type of video a week ago to be a 6 month 25 highest priced items that I have sold, and I forgot. So then, since that 6 months has already passed, I could still do a 6 month, but I might as well just do it for an up to date. Therefore, we're looking at this year. Furthermore, this is how the video is going to be. I was doing a screen capture, or I was going to do a screen capture, and just exactly as I'm doing right now, and sometimes the way on how, when I record my voice through the microphone that I was using, it was a real cheap microphone. I have another one that I got that's in sourcing video a wee while ago, and I just haven't used it for that purpose yet. Doing it like this, just using my phone to the TV and my usual microphone, is going to suffice. So I'll try not to make it too long. And if you just want to use this to listen to and then look at something that's interesting to you, either way, these are going to be the 25 highest priced items that I have sold this year so far. I'll try to remember where I got it, roughly what I paid. I have a pretty good gauge. With this now, you can see if it's international or not. And the price I'm going to give is going to be the subtotal. This is going to be when I refer to product cost received, that's what it sold for. Sellers don't get this money. This extra 63, we don't get that. We get product cost received minus all and any associated fees and shipping. Or the total amount received plus whatever you charge for shipping, minus any fees. So we're going to start this one off. There are 25 to go over. I don't have my phone facing me to where I can look at the timer. So it's 11:16 right now. Let's see how quick I can get through these. And if I can keep this under 20 minutes, keep your attention. If you like what you're going to see, awesome. You should like what you're going to see. And I'm going to speculate, because I did do this math initially for the past 90 days, and the total sales was about 3,000. So if I were to just add up 25, but adding essentially 3 months more prior to that, which is going to knock out a bunch of the lower end ones, probably by proportional math, at least 40% of the ones under 100. And anyhow, I will say it'll be, I don't know, 5,400. We'll find out. All right. So first is a sealed Tesla Effect game. So this is a variation or a continuation of Tex Murphy, which is a video game series, primarily, I want to say late 90s, early 2000s. Whenever this specific one came out, what I know about this is this was a more like a crowdsource, and it is digital. You can get a digital for like Steam, as far as I know, and there I don't know if there's other keys available. The amount of the actual physical copy that they put out were not many at all. So that's what I know in regards to that. This went overseas again. The person was 363 all in. I paid, if this was marked as video game, then it would have been either $4 or $5 at Savers. If it was marked as a DVD, it was either 2 or 3, and I believe this one was 3. This book here I got in Streetsboro at a place. It's called Amelia's. Their books are in, I think, pretty much all of their media. Maybe the CDs are different. Maybe because of VHS are different. I forget. But by the average, for hardcovers, I think it's 3 for $5. And then a lot of the times, which I did not go this past sale for last month, so I'll be going there. I want to say it's this coming Tuesday, where it's the entire store is 50% off for that one day. And that's typically when I go there. So chances are I got this book for 80 cents. That's with tax included and all that. 85 even. So it's signed by the author, James Child. And my understanding is he was also a major in the, was this the one? Maybe he was also a major or something in the military, wrote this book. It was signed, and he had just passed probably 6 months prior to this book selling, maybe a year prior. So anything with his signature would scoot up in value, and on top of that, it's a very, very specific book. And I want to say it's about the Fleetwood vehicles, Fleetwood Company, and Coachcraft, old cars. This is these Tube Connect things. Should have gotten way more. I did have a handful of these. I did put in individual sales. After I looked at older sales, I did list a couple. I don't think that there were any of the design that were in here. I know one was like a T, a 4-point T, and that was $160 or $140 or something. But that one sat. So did all these other ones. All these other ones I could have done individually at $20. These are like 40. I think maybe this would have been like 60. It's like, why? I have one really good one for 100 plus, and all the others I can lot together. But still, I should have gotten more for them. I paid, I want to say 25 cents each for each component. And so I didn't have a whole lot really. I mean, not even $10. 37. So if it's 25 times 4 is 10. So there's that one. These sunglasses here, these Oakley root beer sunglasses, the story behind these is I had bought them at, I don't know where I got these, or I don't remember. And when I was looking the glasses up, when I was listing a bunch of, another batch of sunglasses and frames, because I usually list those when I have at least 25 to 30, because they can all get washed and cleaned at one time, and then I'll get pictures and list them. And I have a box that's probably about 20 right now. It's getting there. But this was a pair that I could not identify, and so they sat on my table awaiting. Well, at that point it was just a couple sunglasses there, and then eventually they went in a box. But I did pick them out and use the Google Lens, and in the Google Lens there's a search bar where you can type in words or numbers or whichever. And I typed in Oakley, then it showed this exact pattern. I was like, heck yeah. So I looked them up, and they were over 200. On a good day, I would have got that to 30. I would have got a little more, but still, for sunglasses and frames that I got $200 for, and they went overseas, 240 yen. These Terminator glasses. So I don't remember where I got those, but these Terminator gargoyles, which was all the rage, all the brand, especially back in the 90s. You can kind of tell by this. Sold. I can't click on this link. Oh, I can't say sold, right? This is in a early sourcing video, though. And I believe that these pictures, or I have my fingers toward my temples. That's usually when I sell glasses that are in sunglasses and frames that are worth quite a bit. I'll put the price right over, have my fingers for my temples. So these had this wear right here, and I got a couple pictures of that as well. And these I paid $3.71 at the Goodwill up here, nearest, the second nearest to the store. The nearest one is the Salvation Army, which is 6 minutes down the road, that I get to once a month because I might find one or two things. That's most Salvation Armies, but I still stop at them because when you do buy something, they have a little stamp card. It doesn't matter. You could spend 50 cents and you're going to get a stamp on the card. 10 of them, then you can get 20, or 10 stamps and you get 25% off. So these were $231 that they paid, right? So this 08 tells me that it was whatever the asking price was. These cards probably, a little old. So these ones I got in a bag, so I still, not often enough, because there's just not enough ratio for time to look through decks of cards that are in bags, or look more in the bags to find less than of what I typically can find more of in media. I hope you got all that. It's just there's more stuff I can get that sells faster, and I get it for cheaper for less time to get all that stuff. However, I was I will still kind of take a look at some cards. Every once in a while, if I see a nice deck, it's built nice, the boxes are nice, I'll stop and kind of look. Haven't really found any. I did, actually. Maybe. I don't remember. Either way. So these had for a little while. They are I believe that they are. That's why it's 1920 question mark. And they sold. Nobody questioned anything about it. I don't think, by my experience dealing with cards, just the actual waxing and the texture and all that aligned with cards that were 100 years old. Although they were absolutely mint, still, I don't think that was a determining factor. It was the Ogilvy Norton with the Edison Mazda, whatever it is specifically. And these still can sell, single decks can still sell for 80 to 150 bucks. This Copal clock, so I got that in Savers. I probably paid for this. I probably paid 80 cents for the deck, maybe, because usually they're in like a bag of 5 decks for 2, 3, $4. So maybe $1. This Copal clock, probably too much. Yep. This is also another thumbnail and a sourcing video. This one was at the same Savers, complete different day. These flippy clocks, for sure. You know, if you source all the time and you're always looking for electronics, even people who look for electronics, and that's primarily what they sell, can tell you that flippy clocks are not prevalent or easy to find. This is a basic flippy clock. Flippy as in these numbers flip up and down, and you have to make sure that, you know, I may have said that the motor sounded a little off. It did work. It still, you know, kept time. I believe I had a video in there of it rotating correctly. This, I don't remember what I paid. Probably $4 or $5 because it was. I mean, the box itself was probably the size of a modern big cell phone, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 sides of that, and then the 2 left and right sides. So it wasn't. It was probably got shipped under £1, right? So that was $200. This, I know I can click in here because I just got this one. This I picked up at a rummage sale in Chesterland, which isn't too far from here, about 15 miles south of here, near Sheridan. So I'm just at the rummage sale, and I have a small collection of just media. I don't remember now exactly. I got the Star Trek magazines, which I still have yet to even picture or list. They're just sitting on a shelf. I don't even remember all the other stuff that I got, but this is one that I did, and this is signed book by Catherine Coleman. I remember what I paid. It was maybe $1. This was in the bottom of a box that was under a table that had other just random books in it. And of the 1,000 books that were there, I probably picked up 3, maybe 4. So for this to be, just a random find at a rummage sale, that turned out pretty good. 165. Didn't take long to sell. A couple weeks. These vintage Ray-Ban Bosch & Lomb sunglasses. You can see I took a bit of an offer on them. So this style is listed. None has sold besides these on eBay over 3 years. A brand new of these are listed for like $600-700. I just didn't see that happening because of the broken temple arm, which you can't see, but it's right there. This tip down here, so BL Bosch and Long. And believe me, that picture was that's probably one of the clearest, best close-up pictures I think my phone has ever taken. But this is broke, and there is some nose wear right here. So for one to be listed, for me to pay $2 for these, and one to be listed, they're a vintage Ray-Ban, emphasizing the BNL and the Bosch and Lomb. If you just start looking some of that stuff up, you can see that vintage Ray-Ban, Bosch and Lomb, or even take the vintage out because they're all going to be vintage. They sell. This specific style, no. So did I pay $2 for the style, the model? Nope. I paid $2 because somebody somewhere sometime would pay me at least $100. I listed them pretty high. They came down a couple times, and someone came in and I think they asked for a better price. And I was like, sure. I mean, they're not going to sell otherwise. Take them. So that was a good one. This card, the Slink card, took a while to sell. I don't remember. Oh, those Ray-Bans I got at the Savers in Parma for $2. This is another one of those looking at random electronics and computer peripherals and cards and things like that. Besides it being a really, really cool component and chip display, very basic PCB and connections. Some of these things that have these older emblems and designs, and you can just look at the box and know that it's older. A lot of this, I don't even know when this is from. I mean, it's 32-bit. I mean, 32-bit they still use coax, but 32-bit is just super. It was fast, super fast then. Now it's snail speed, and it had pretty much never been used. Right, so it's just an interesting card, and I look it up, and Etherlink 3 minus some of these wordings down here. I looked at Etherlink 3, or whichever words I chose. I used more words that are there and omitted some words to see if at any point something like this would sell. And there were things that were selling and had sold at that point, right? So this was whenever, see if I can find a picture with a clear date. I can't do that, sold over it. But April 7th. Whenever it sold. So took over a year for it to sell. What I paid, don't remember. Again, this is one of those electronics things that Savers will put up on the shelf for $4. And just it has to be enough to catch my eye. And I'm not going to spend what I will do a much quicker cursory, just past little electronics and bag stuff, like I said, for the cards. I will still just do a quick, if something is begging my eye to it, that's not media at that point, I will stop and look. And every once in a while, I'll find those things. This is Art Pepper, so this just sold. I don't remember what I paid. I did get, it had been like $3 or $4, maybe $5 for the whole set. I bought, I want to say 3. That is also a very specific sourcing video that this and 2 others are in. Maybe there's 3 others in it. This, I believe, was the more expensive one. It just sold, had it for probably 6 months, January. So if you want to see the sourcing video, I would refer to January 24th or prior in my sourcing video playlist. But $148 that one went out for. These books here, from the Goodwill. These books here I got at the Savers. I want to say maybe they're $3 each. So let's just say I paid $15 for them, knowing that these, as they are, this is what it was. Right? So this is a just a plethora of issues of Track News Magazine, railroad travel, so on. Actually, I mean, it was really interesting, right? So this fell into different genres as primarily the old advertising, old reference. A lot of people can use these. I don't know. There's just a lot of use to them. As you can see, each one I probably got 2 or 3 pictures of from within. It's kind of showed the content. 38 issues, bound in 5 books, good to better condition, especially for their age. So I had $15. I think they still went out for like $14 shipping or something. So it's still feasible to ship them. No, it would have been more than that since it was that far. But either way, it wasn't much for the money and everything. They did sit around, so I was glad to see them gone. Take it. This VHS, probably $1 or $2. This was an interesting one. I don't think any had sold when I was looking this one up. It was just a very, very different VHS, very specific, very niche topic. And when I was looking this one up at home and finding out more information about it, I remember there being like maybe a Chicago library has available for this, and some might be still chopped up on YouTube videos because there's going to be a lot that's not going to be able to be broadcast. So that, paid a couple bucks. That was 97. And I got 97 for that. So this number is going to be higher. Sometimes you don't line up exactly correct. These American Opticals, these aviators, I found plenty of these types of aviators, American Opticals, before. A gold tone one that I had sold, and I want to say it was 2023 or maybe somewhere in the beginning of 24. Sold a gold tone, and yeah, these are in a box called in a shoebox. And that I still had to use that shoebox. It's just where newer frames and sunglasses and stuff go. The gold ones, I believe, were like $240. They didn't take long to sell. These ones didn't take long either. So I can only get to the one picture, and I'm not going to be able to see a date stamp. And yeah, that's just a glass paperweight. And I got 1, 2, 3, 4 glass paperweights, all no name. So they just kind of sit here. This is another one that I bought for $10 at the thrift on Vine like 3 years ago. Sat on the bottom shelf in the dining room. Did nothing with. One day I decided to get some of this bigger stuff I had. This yogurt maker, I think like a radio, like a reel. I had a couple things, and I just got the pictures of those 3 things and did some relists, sell similars, and there we go. And this May 26th is when it got pictured, probably listed around then too. A couple weeks to sell, $140, right? So I was like, man, I was sitting on $100, and yeah, that happens. The CD picked up. This is also in a sourcing video. Picked up the story behind this one. I actually thought it was Gene Simmons. Wherever I was at, so I went into Terapeak, typed in Rigo Tovar, and his music sells for good enough money. I think the minimum that when I first typed it up, it popped up like $20 or something, whichever. That's enough for me to buy a CD for $1. So then I click on CDs and I see that a couple of his CDs had recently sold, one for like $90 and another for 120 or something. I was like, all right, I'll buy that one. I'll wait. Didn't have to wait long. Sold, I don't know, within 2 weeks maybe, 117. This is another one. I believe this is the last one. I might have one more. These water meters I got at the Habitat for Humanity in East Lake. Again, if I buy other industrial stuff, kind of like those pipe fittings that were all the way up top or near up more. This I got there as well, different time frame, but I will usually go over there to the industrial and commercial stuff and see what I can find that's decent. These I got at the Village Discount Outlet. I want to say these were. No, these were at Savers. Probably $10, maybe $3 a book, $4 a book. I probably used a 20% off or which have you. It wasn't that much too crazy into it. Listed them. They did not take long to sell. It's been too long for me to. Looks like it was January. Can't go all the way back there, but I can see January. Let's see if there's a date stamp. There's not. Doesn't mean that they're that old. It just means that I cropped it out. These I did get at the Village Discount Outlet Cuyahoga Falls, which I just went to a handful of days ago. That's where I ran into someone I know from 10 years ago who was my daughter's best friend because lived across the street. And their birthdays are exactly one day apart. So these three I picked up down there, $1.80 maybe, so probably $3 after tax. They were not specially marked. So down there, they were 90 cents a hardcover, 60 cents a paperback. So for me to get these for $3 and some change, they even went international. They did not take long to sell, maybe a week, $75. This being in time, however, this is one that did take a while to sell. There are variations of this, much. This is not a true, my understanding, this is not a true printing, although that's in the title, hasn't been complained about. But anything that I could look up and manage to find was indicating that it was by basis of, like, you can look at the price on the, there should be 7th edition. So this was the 7th edition, first print of that 7th edition. Either way. Still a $100 book. Did take a little while to sell. They do sell. They are decent selling. I found a paperback version of that sold not too long ago. These Oakley airdrops, these just sold. Probably as savers. Got them in October. So just sold, $110. These Oakleys just sold. Got these. Well, if I can see a date, it's not going to be true to when I got them. It's just going to be true when I pictured them. So I got them obviously before May 25th, and I'm making this in June, and they sold. Oh, it's going to be over here for some reason. It's not going that way. But they sold in May, so I didn't have them long. These VHS I got at Savers. VHS are $1 each. It's just very, very unique, very weird, very niche, very exact, and very recorded. Right? So since there's nothing, these are, I'm going to speculate. Maybe is that like a Holiday Inn or some sort of small center. It could have been a workout center, a yoga center, and somebody had a camcorder, a big camcorder. At this time in the 80s, these things were still the size of, like a big clutch bag to record. And now we just do it with their phone like I am right now. So that's when these were done, and it's someone very specific. And I was like, you know what, I'll pay the $5-6 for these, and I'll just kind of see and wait. And someone, even if I were to they were to sell for $50 eventually, I'd still make money. I got 100 out of them because my brain thought these are just really, really different. They're time capsules to a teaching of yoga and meditation by this Shami, whoever it was, this yogi. Go down here to Isaac Asimov, a book I've also had for a while. This didn't sell. No, it's been posted that time. So a book I have had for a while. I get this, if I can get that to zoom in correctly, September 23. So this is telling me that even, so 23 will be right. and it recently sold. So this has been listed for sold in January, so a little over a year. Took me to sell a $75 book of Asimov, and some of his stuff, Heinlein, Arthur C. Clarke, um, some of those other authors. A lot of just keep an eye on some of this. If they sound like a bigger author and it's very specialized, that's those are the ones I look for. I'm not picking up the cotton ones. Like one who writes about the Civil War, or like the McCullough ones, or most Stephen King's. I'm keeping those down. Robert Ludlum and Christian, who did the Crichton, Jurassic Park, Andromeda, not Andromeda. Yeah, he did it, Andromeda. Didn't he? So a lot of those common ones, I will still kind of keep down, and this is why I will emphasize, and why I'm talking now is because I can see here that this is likely the very last. Yeah, so last one. A lot of those common ones I will keep down, and this is why I talk about looking at the style, the font, the coloring, that the quality of the image that's on the actual art that's on the spine or the cover. And if that quality is lesser and lesser for someone who's as big as an author as Asimov, it's going to tell me that it's older. And if it's older from someone who wrote is primarily known for that time frame, that era, I'm definitely going to look at it. Even if it was an 80s book, even if there's some reprints, I still look at some of them, but that's how I just kind of get familiar with the books. And this I got at a Savers. I don't remember how much I paid for it. It is an ex-library even. Well, it is in the title, right? So if it wasn't ex-library, it probably had library stamps on the inside. Might even had something on the edging, library stamp on the edging. And if it was clean, cool. And then this Christian library, this is also from Sourcing Video. I got this at what I called the long lost store. Reason why I said that is I had stopped there one time way before I got into media. Then I started selling media, and I was thinking that this store was in the Parma area, so I kept using Google Maps to try to find the parking lot, and I remembered the parking lot, and I couldn't find it anywhere. So then eventually I gave up, and one day I'm on Google Maps again, and I was trying to track something else down, and when I saw whatever road that this plaza is on, when I saw that plaza, now it starts with an H or something, but when I'm passing by, I look and I see the name of that plaza, and then it just triggered. And see, this is if you listen to one of my videos a while ago, short couple weeks ago. So when people say that I forgot, and I say no, you're just not remembering accurately. This is exactly what I'm talking about. The memory was back there. I just wasn't remember. Just see, you can't define something with using the word. But either way, this I got from going through basically three big, massive boxes, like huge boxes of media, and I went through those. And the average cost of what I got was maybe $1, a little less. There's a whole couple sourcing videos in there in regards to that entire time experience. So, and that was $95. So this is the next 25 without detailed information. Honorary mentions. A. So Alcoholics Anonymous, second edition, 98, and it's going to be rounded up, or whatever easier number it is to say. Adobe Suite, 2-pack, 75. This mathematics book, 97. DVD workout set, 92. A clock book, 94. Sunglasses, 75. One of those CD sets, 89. A Bible, 87. Whatever this software, 78. This router just sold 81. This book 50. I don't know why that's all up in this mix like this. This Luigi one for the Wii 83. Disney Treasures 90. This is another clock book. No, I don't think it is, but anyhow, $75 for that book, 71 for that DVD set, just that season. What was it, $80 for these 4, 5, 6 things this person bought? That's in the sourcing video. Culmination of some flatware. Investigators almost 80. This Kathy DVD 80. This CD recent, actually yesterday's. What sold video had this 55. Menage a Trois CD 72. These sunglasses 70. This book 75. This book 76. This book 75. I will come up with the total of what the first page was, put that in the title, and I'll go with, if you like what you heard, like what you saw, like what you learned, let me know with the thumbie going up. Let me know some more with comments going down below. Subscribe, share. Everything helps me, helps others. Appreciate it. Thank you.